session. Welcome, babies. This is Now You're My Baby. This is your nightly self-care routine where you take care of yourself. You do what you need to during this time. So welcome all my new babies and welcome back all my returning babies. Mama loves you. Okay, so we start the session off with a prayer. It is not a religious prayer. It's just a prayer to root us in our individual healing experience and bring us together as a community and as a collective. And because consent matters, to have your permission to say a prayer. Okay, let's do it. You ready? Okay. Dear universe, in all for the... May I touch you? Okay. Dear universe, in all for the highest vibrational good only, please connect us to our highest intention and validate information for our highest good only. Please allow us to release what we need to let go and embrace what allows us to grow. Let our journey encompass the lineages, traditions, religions, and spiritual paths that bring light out through us to share with others. I say all of this in the name of I am Ashe. 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 Okay. So, working through anxiety. So I talked about this a bit in the blockage video. So in my meditative reflection, I was thinking about how do we experience anxiety? How would you experience anxiety versus how I would experience anxiety? And what I started to think about is that how I feel anxiety probably feels different than how you feel anxiety, because our bodies are different and there probably are some similarities, but I started to think there are so many feelings, emotions, and things that we have within ourselves that describe a whole array of things, and we categorize a large group of things into something very small. This is just anxiety. I'm going to give you an example. When you are going into a better paying position, and maybe it's a job you've never had before, and you start to experience imposter syndrome. Imposter syndrome can invoke feelings of anxiety, even though it's better pay, even though it's something that'll help you in the long run, even though you have all the skills to make this successful. But the feeling of this new thing, this thing that you haven't done before, gives us a similar alert within our body of something like anxiety, like a trauma that you have experienced before, and that you feel like a new situation is going to be the same, but it's two different things, but it's kind of being meshed together. So that made me think, listen, whatever your anxiety is trying to tell you, listen to it. Now, as we work through it on an energetic level, it is important to know there are multiple things that can create anxiety. It can simply just be your body's chemistry. That's how your body is. It can also be having a traumatic experience that has happened to you, or several things that have kind of accumulated, and now your state of being feels anxious because it just doesn't feel safe. On an energetic level, what happens here is that when the soul has a traumatic experience, the soul starts to hover above the body because it no longer feels safe. That's why a person might feel disconnected if they've been anxious or depressed for a very long time. And bringing that soul back into the body brings that life back into the body, and they have motivation to want to do things and things like that. There are other reasons why you might experience anxiety. Maybe it's not a trauma thing. Maybe it's not the body's just natural state of chemistry. There are a lot of micronutrient deficiencies that can cause this, and I talk about this all the time. I wanted to do a series on nutrigenomics, but it seems like nobody really cares because I put it on a poll. But it is so important that we really take this for granted, that these micronutrients, meaning supplements, vitamins, the things that our body needs to actually work the system out correctly, if we have So it can impact the brain as well. So there's so many levels. So many levels. So we work through the energetic care, but there's so many ways to approach it. Even physical activity can impact. For example, if you are working out too much or you're exerting yourself too fast, and your body is not trained to do that, you can stress your body out and it starts to use the micronutrients in order to balance itself out, and that can cause a deficiency as well. So I'm not saying, hey, don't be active. What I'm saying is be mindful, listen to your body, as well as being sedentary, not making any movement, not doing anything, can also wreak a lot of havoc in the body. So this is just basically saying, listen to your body, make movement, do what you need to do. But anxiety is linked to a lot of things. It is not just one clear-cut thing, and there might be some overlapping things too. And I've said this, and I'm going to keep saying this. The quickest and easiest way to change how you feel in your body is through what you eat. At first, I used to think it was through like mindfulness training and affirmations and stuff, but that requires actual effort. But if you don't just put anything, just don't eat anything, and you say like, I'm only going to eat really, really green, leafy vegetables, and I'm going to make sure that I'm getting all my macronutrients. Macronutrients are your proteins, your fats, your carbohydrates. You're getting all of those nutrients in a very healthy way. Your body, go to sleep, wake up the next day, your body will just feel better. It just will. It just will feel better. And then you can add on to that those other things too. So anxiety is multiple things. That's why I say it's really important that when you go to your doctor, you ask them to do that routine blood work. And if you are lucky enough to have health insurance, ask for everything you can be tested for under your preventative care appointment, which is that free appointment that the insurance gives you. And that's when they can kind of put all that stuff in, so you don't have to pay out of pocket for that. And then when you notice any of these things that are happening, any imbalances or things like that, then you can start to do research and take action. And the way that I like to do it is I like to head on over to Google Scholar. If you have some familiarity with like journal articles and stuff, they all pretty much read very similar. You can just jump to the abstract. If you have no clue what I'm talking about, then you might just do some doctor Googling just to understand, how does iron impact our body? How does calcium impact our body? How does fill in the blank of something else, and folate, how does it impact our body? And that can start to get us to understand how these things impact us. It's really quite fascinating. Like, people can have a deficiency in something and have extreme anxiety from it, and people are trying to treat them on just purely a brain chemistry level, not even the actual micronutrients, a brain chemistry level, or through therapy, when there are multiple things that we all should be looking out for, not just one thing. So that is something that I hope that you can take with you and act upon. And I am a firm believer that you need to have a team, baby. I think about it like this. The answer is not in one solution. The answer is all over. You're going to find the answer a little bit everywhere. And you need to have a team. And if you're lucky enough to have access to insurance or have access to a team or can afford that, chef's kiss, that's a game changer right there. Because what you are is you are the team captain, okay? And everybody else, you pay them for their specialties, and they are here to help you. And I think one of those biggest scams that we have is the thought that we are not able to make decisions for our own body, our own agency, our own autonomy. At the end of the day, you know exactly your symptoms, you know how you feel, and what you're message. No, you could have a actual imbalance that you need to get checked out. The message is still valid, but the solution is multifaceted and it's going to be seen all around your life. So let's take a moment. In those moments that you have experienced anxiety, what is it that you are trying to process? Because it's always something. The anxiety always comes up somewhere. It'll be something like, oh, love, or it'll be money, or what am I supposed to do in this life, or those big spiritual esoteric questions like what, or existential questions. Why am I here? Why is there suffering? Like just all of these kind of big questions, whatever that is for you. Think about that anxiety. Sometimes anxiety also is the powerlessness of the future, feeling like things are grim and there's nothing I can do to stop it, versus the reality, which is I don't have to do anything to stop anything. All I gotta do is focus on my life mission, life goals, life things that I need to do right now. I don't have to be responsible for the whole world, because if you take care of yourself, you empower others to take care of themselves. But if you're constantly throwing yourself onto other people, you are going to expect other people to come and nourish you back. No, nourish yourself, and then any of that excess energy you have, give to others freely without needing anything in return. But you can't do that unless you fill yourself up first. And the answers you need will be there. They're actually already in front of you. You just kind of have to open your eyes, and by eyes I mean like your mind's eye, to the answers. It's amazing how that is, because when we're closed off, we can't see those answers. When we open, it's like, damn, this shit been in my face this whole time. It's been here this whole time. And it might have been things that you have already tried before. You just need a little bit more help or guidance along the way. And look, everything is figure outable. Everything is survivable. We have a species. Our species has been around for 200,000 and 300,000 years. Hominids have been around for 6 million years. We are very resilient. So whatever is happening in your life is not enough to take you out. I guarantee it. We have been able to survive this long, and things were very grim probably in those first like 6 million years, 5 million years, like it was real wild then, before our species even came to be. So think about it from that way, but it doesn't invalidate what you're feeling. You still may be feeling those feelings of anxiety, and that's why I'm saying you need to get these other things checked out too. Because on an existential level, if you process the message, you see from the macro view there's nothing to worry about, and you still are having these feelings, check those other things out too. Check those other things out too, because that can be helpful as well. And you can have the power to think clearly, still experience the anxiety, and be able to make moves to go forward to help alleviate that in the other things that I'm talking about, as well as make decisions. What you feel does not have to stop you from living your life, does not have to your life doesn't begin when you stop having those experiences. Your life is still going in spite of those experiences. Just working through all of that, just removing that from your energy to not impact you, and to surround you by love and understanding and happiness, and to experience this life the way that you want to experience it. The way I want to experience life is my way, and the way you want to is your way. And I remember, being younger, and I used to think like, you just assume everybody is experiencing life like you. No, I think this is what those multiple realities are. When people talk about like dimensions and things like that, I kind of look at it figure out how to make my life better, there's something in the collective that shifts as well. And someone else out of the blue just feels inspired to try. Doesn't mean they actually fall through with it yet, but it inspires them. So that is how we can take care of other people, when we take responsibility for ourselves, for our actions and what we do, and we empower that in other people as well. Well, family, I hope you enjoyed this session. I hope this has relieved some of the anxiety, and I hope you just enjoy life. And you enjoy life for every little piece, every little bit that it has to offer. And if nobody has said this, let me go ahead and say